Heroes Like Us is a series intended at sharing comic book characters from various backgrounds and identities. We won't always get everything right, so feel free to make amendments and corrections in the comments. They're always appreciated. What's not appreciated, however, is any form of hate speech or intolerance, so comments of that nature will be immediately deleted and those users blocked from this channel. This is a place of education and celebration. Welcome to IAYT and welcome to Heroes Like Us, our series where we look at characters from a certain identity and then we outline characters that have that identity. Today we are covering our third video for Canadian comic book characters. So I missed a lot, especially DC characters, and so we're diving into some of those. We've already covered in the past two videos basically all of Alpha Flight, a lot of Marvel characters. So now we're diving into another handful. Up first from DC Comics, we've got Adam Strange. Now, Strange wasn't Canadian, but in the New 52 continuity, they've gone back and made him Canadian, similar to what they did with Booster Gold. So Adam Strange is basically an archaeologist that was kind of mysteriously teleported to another planet, a planet that I believe is pronounced Ran. And basically, he's kind of stuck there. He kind of gets some technology, helps them fight a war with the Thanagarians, Thanagarians? Basically the race of people that Hawkgirl and Hawkman were for some time in the continuity. They were from that planet, so there was this big war. He fought alongside them. He got married. Kind of this whole adventure of him on these other planets. He did eventually make his way back to kind of our world where he fought alongside the Justice League. Him and the Green Lantern Kyle Rayner were the ones kind of responsible for stopping the war, so he made some powerful allies and fought alongside the big dogs, even though he maybe isn't a huge name himself. Up next from DC Comics, we've got the villain Plastique Bette sans souci. I believe it's pronounced Susie, but it might also be Suchi. Bette is an activist who becomes a terrorist and is able to basically create explosions out of her body. And so she uses this to destroy buildings, assassinate people. So she goes on this spree of trying to assassinate presidents and prime ministers, and she tries to blow up the Canadian Parliament, doing very bad stuff. She was eventually captured and brought into the Suicide Squad, where they said basically, this is your chance, try to redeem yourself. But immediately she tries to betray them. So on one of her first missions with them, she kind of says, hey, I'm not really with them. You know, she tries to kind of turn on them. But the person that she tells this to is actually another member of the Suicide Squad with the ability to disguise himself, named Nemesis. So after this, she ruined kind of any good faith effort. They wiped her mind of any Suicide Squad knowledge, and she's kind of been either in prison or trying to redeem herself since then. Now up next from Monkey Brain Comics, we've got Red Panda. His real name is August Fenwick, and he's a billionaire that uses his wealth to help others. So very similar to Iron Man, Batman. Like, he uses this money to invest in gadgets and gear and tech that he can go out, investigate in the mask, and help others. Now, Red Panda is interesting because he exists in these comic books, but he's not in a lot of comic books. He mostly exists in a podcast, which was made to resemble kind of old-time radio dramas called The Red Panda Adventures. There are over 100 episodes released so far, so you can go listen to them if you want to hear about this Canadian billionaire who's a vigilante by night. And lastly for this video is a Marvel Comics character by the name of Marina Smallwood. Like DC's hero Icon, Marina is actually an alien, but when she first encountered people, she basically kind of took their DNA, like imprinted, to become like them. So even though she is genetically Canadian, she appears like an alien. She did serve on the team Alpha Flight for a time before meeting and then marrying Namor the Submariner. So she kind of lived down in Atlantis, but then she was, oh god, this gets confusing. She was used to basically, they turned her into this monster called Leviathan, and she needed to eat Atlanteans to survive. And so she kind of went on this killing spree, and Namor had to subdue her and kill her in order to protect his people. So very tragic. She eventually did come back to life, but she's been I want to say like tainted, like something's dark, something's angry about her, like something isn't quite right. And so only time will tell what really becomes of her. So that is it for this episode of Heroes Like Us. There are like 30 something other Heroes Like Us videos. Go watch them, share them with friends, get recommendations if there's like, hey, there's someone else you didn't talk about, or hey, here's an identity I want to see talked about. Let me know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.